Okay, guys, welcome to the midweek episode of the WrestleSlam podcast. This week, we're joined by Phil Connolly, as usual. Joining us for the first time midweek is Matt, the Fact Murphy. And coming back to the WrestleSlam podcast after a few weeks, maybe a couple of months out, Mick. Just give him one chance, Stone. He's back. Mick, where the hell have you been?
Oh man, it's busy. Like this is my first Thursday off, and I'd say nearly 2 months, and I am enjoying it with a mango and apple juice and rum, and it's very tasty.
Nice. I didn't bring a fucking drink. Anybody else bring a drink? No, we should have brought drink.
7-0. I'm drinking Ballygowan water. Not sponsored.
This show is not brought to you by Strepsils, but I'm eating something.
But it is brought to you by
not Manscaped. They do our Monday show, but we're smooth anyway here. Most of us are smooth anyway. Hopefully the rest of us will be smooth by the time next week comes.
I mean, I am going to be running in the CORK marathon, so I need to get prepared.
You'll definitely need to be smooth for that. Make sure you do your pits as well. Friction burn is a killer.
A man of experience, Jerry.
I only did a relay part of it, but it's not fun. Lads, AEW Dynamite last night. Pretty good show. A lot of big news coming out of it. You start off at the start of the match, the first match of the night was CM Punk and Dustin Rhodes. First time ever they faced off 1-on-1. Pretty good match, solid enough. A lot of throwbacks, a lot of shout outs. What I saw on Twitter during the week or last night and this morning was throwbacks to Bret Hart and Goldust match from back in the day. A lot of moves, a lot of spots in it that Bret did to Goldust that CM Punk had been thrown back. But after the match was over, obviously Punk won the match and Hangman came out and confronted CM Punk, gave the stare down. And is this where we're going, lads? Are we going to get CM Punk and Hangman Page a Double or Nothing?
Looks like it.
Has to be. To be. They wouldn't do that spot at the end of the match if that wasn't the direction they were heading.
Is a 5-week build good enough? Are you happy with a 5-week build between them?
I have an itchy feeling that's going to be at least an almost 2-month build. They're just going to do one of those to build to get Hangman Page more notice if they're going to have a name like CM Punk next to him, because a lot of lads still watching AEW doesn't really know who Hangman Page is. They're just like, oh, he's a champion, but so I think long term.
Well, Double or Nothing's only 5 weeks away, so that has to be the match, right?
That has to be the match, yeah.
That has to be an event, Double or Nothing, right?
Yeah.
The champion has to pay-per-view.
It surely has to. I mean, it's probably the biggest match they can do for the title right now.
Really. For the title, but is it a big match? Is Hangman Page versus CM Punk a big match compared to,
I think it's a huge match.
If Adam Cole had a big Page.
I don't know, man. Hangman and Page, let's not forget that it wasn't that long ago that he was the hottest thing in wrestling.
The chase is always sweeter.
Yeah, and exactly, the chase is always sweeter. And people say he's a weak champion, man, but I don't know, man. He's had he's had great matches with Danielson since, and he's had the hardcore matches as well, which have been really, really good. I don't think he's been a bad champion at all. The only thing I think he suffered from is really placement on the show. He should really open the show or close the show to make him feel a little bit more important, or be in the opening and closing segments.
Is there something missing?
There is something usually missing, but what I would actually love to happen is Kenta to hit the go to sleep on Punk and fight him at Forbidden Door.
I think that might happen. I hope that'll happen.
But I want Page to beat Punk. I just think that he needs something. He needs it to go longer.
Yeah, if he does beat him, that'll be the biggest win of his career for sure. Especially when going in, CM Punk's going to be favored to win that match. And it'll just give such massive shine to Hangman Page. Maybe that's the little thing he's missing, is a little bit of shine. To say, I know he's beating Danielson now, but to say he's beating CM Punk as well during the same reign, that's a good statement.
It'll when you look back on his reign, if he does beat Punk and goes on to maybe lose to MJF or whoever he ends up losing it to, when you look back in the reign, if he's beating all these people, you will say, oh, it was a good reign. But at the minute, there isn't the spark that you need for a champion. I don't know what's missing. I don't know whether it's promo ability or a good feud build up. That the build between Page and Cole was okay. Like Adam Cole overshadowed him greatly in that, and same with Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. I feel like Punk may overshadow him in this feud as well. Like it's his promo ability. So I think he needs to be a better promo than his next opponent if he does beat Punk.
Ideally, MJF beats him at All Out.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I think maybe MJF might make Adam Page's championship reign better, because when you look at all great championship reigns, there's always that one longer feud, that one more meaningful feud that kind of culminates to sometimes the end of the current champion's reign. And Hangman Page hasn't really had that as champion. He hasn't had a long, meaningful adversary as champion. So maybe 5 weeks is tight, but if anyone can build a match within 5 weeks to be huge, it's you hang your hat on CM Punk to be able to do that.
If you
he did it with Eddie Kingston in a week.
If you look back
exactly, so I have no doubt, I have no fears about that. And I think it would be a really, really good match too.
If you look back in 2019, Double or Nothing, you can make a match in 2 weeks. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Remember that Cody and Dustin, even that video package?
Yeah. Oh, it's easy. It's very easy, to build up. But when it comes to the title match, it does need more time. It does, people need to be invested in it as well. Like, but we'll see what happens. You never know what's going to happen. Whether Punk plays the heel in it, he mightn't turn heel, but he may play the heel, and he's the sober one, and Hangman Page has a drink problem. Maybe they'll go down that kind of route, or that old cliche. But you never know.
I can see it being one of those matches. I stand by what I said. I think it's just because people still need to know more about Adam Hangman Page. I see this being one of those matches where CM Punk tosses everything at Hangman Page. Adam kicks out of everything. He gets out of his Mitchell. And at the end of it, Adam Hangman Page will win cleanly, and CM Punk's just going to give him a handshake. It's just going to be one of those matches I see that they're going to aim for.
I think CM Punk will turn heel after that match. There was small parts in that Dustin match where I just thought, he's letting the heel side out just a tiny bit. There was a part where Dustin was on the floor and he kicked Punk in the arm. Yeah, and his expression was just so blank. He went straight in for the injured left leg. Then it was just a little bit of
even when the crowd were chanting. When the crowd were chanting for Dustin, back and forth, Dustin and CM Punk, he was like, "What are you chanting for him for?" kind of thing. Look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Throughout the night, we'll go back to the Forbidden Door pay-per-view later on, but go throughout the night, like we had the Wardlow segment with MJF. I'm loving this feud. I can't wait to see what happens with it. I'm scared for Wardlow if he loses it, but also I don't want MJF to win. It's one of those, they're booking themselves in the kind of corner. I just don't know where they're going to go with it. Obviously, Double or Nothing has to be the payoff, right?
You would think so, but did you hear? Was it Tony said something that I thought was quite funny? He said, "Did you ever see somebody have to be handcuffed?" He said, "Did you, Ross?" It's clearly like, remember Kane with that thing. Kane, it's pretty similar, isn't it?
Kane was handcuffed on the way to the ring.
Wasn't he brought in by like cops and he had to? Do you remember that in 2003?
I remember that. Yeah, when Kane had to unmask and he was like on a rampage.
Was that when he was wearing the towel over his head?
Yeah. He had to be brought to the arena by cops.
Yeah.
It's just reminded me of that. It's just similar.
Possibly.
But the feud,
was really good.
The feud's only starting.
Yeah. I like the way Wardlow looks like a fierce badass, just going to the ring with no music and with handcuffs and trying to like 12 guards. It was it put him over as a badass for sure. And they're doing a really good job of booking him so far. Really, they're doing a really, really good job. He seems more popular every single week, and the Powerbomb Symphony is probably one of the most over things in wrestling right now. So fair play to whoever's booking him.
As long as he's not this generation's Goldberg.
Yeah. Or worse, Ryback.
They get Roy back, yeah. No, I feel like there's so many times in the past podcasts when we always see an MJF match, we always keep saying, oh, Warlow's going to turn MJF, Warlow, and it never happens. So the fact that AEW knows that we're expecting a Warlow turn against MJF, and they did it so brilliantly, and they're doing like this huge rivalry. Like, I'm with Jerry on this one. Is like I don't want to see MJ losing because it make him look, weak with all this build up behind him. But I don't want to see MJF winning because, well, I still think he's a bit of a twat in a good way, and also it's going to make Warlow look bad with all this build up recently with him. Like so, but it's just amazing rivalry, I think.
No. Do you think the last Archer match is going to be good?
Yeah, they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. I love that segment with Jake the Snake where he was just talking Jake the Snake stuff. He was just like, look into the eyes of the python and you'll be under the spell. And I was just like, shut up.
I loved how it's like, I just care about the money.
Yeah, he doesn't want the money. I fuck the money. I just want to beat him up.
They're such a funny dynamic, the two of them.
I love it. But Jake made MJF look really small. He came in on the screen. I was like, oh shit. He should have had MJF up on a platform or something because Jake is fucking legit 6'6" or 7", like so.
Yeah.
Going out through the show, then we had the qualifier. Some of the qualifiers are talking about the Owen Hart Cup and stuff. We had Kyle O'Reilly going over Jungle Boy. I was pretty shocked with that. Did you expect that to happen?
I did in a way. I thought after last week's loss that they needed something to come back.
Well, they had the backstage segment and they're all talking about they all lost and they're all this fucking undisputed elite and whatever they want to call themselves, and they were on about a 10-man tag match next week. But I really didn't expect it. Like the match is okay. Like the ending was pretty strange. Like he the knee off the top rope. Like
it was weird.
I think Kyle's kind of lost his steps since jumping over to AEW.
Yeah, he has.
Because he like delivered performance he was putting in week out in NXT. It was so high, like where I imagine it would always be difficult to kind of keep that going for such a long time, But man, it's noticeable, the step back, I don't think Jungle Boy really did him any favors in this match either, to be honest. Like he's not selling.
Jungle Boy was so over for a long time, wasn't he? He was he seemed to be the next, after MJF, you'd think he'd be the next champion.
I find his lack of selling really annoing. I don't think
it's true.
It's really, really annoying. Like it was like the first 10 minutes of that match was it Kyle O'Reilly just working the arm, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he just didn't sell it at all. It was really weird. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing match. But I do think that on the Undisputed Elite, they're going to have a really strong Owen Hart Cup. I reckon Cole's probably going to win it. I think he's probably going to beat Nick Jackson in the final.
Are they in it? They haven't confirmed who else is in it.
Samoa Joe's in it. Samoa Joe's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet.
It's gonna be
who qualified? Just Kyle O'Reilly and Samoa Joe are the only two qualified, right?
So far, yeah. But I think all of the Undisputed Elite are going to be in it.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a Nick Jackson against Adam Cole in the final, which would be an amazing match anyway. And that maybe that could put the the last coffin or the last nail in the coffin of that kind of that breakup. And maybe that opens the door for Kenny to come back with the Bucks. Who knows?
That's what I was just going to say. Is that going to lead to the 6-man tag at All Out?
Oh man, that'd be so good. We now live in a world where we can have the Undisputed Era against the Elite. That's fucking awesome. It's so good.
Matt, do you expect that?
Yeah, I actually agree with Mick, because we're at that point where literally anything can happen with the qualifiers. So definitely willing to see at least a 6-man tag. That's what they can unexpectedly build up to. So definitely that
has to happen eventually. One thing that's going to happen though in the cup is next week we have FTR against each other. which was a big surprise for everybody, but
brilliant.
it's going to be an epic battle between them.
When I saw that, I thought there was actually a mistake with the graphics card. Like,
the commentators kind of blew over at the start, and then they had to go back at the end of the match, end of the Derby and Andrade match. They had to go back over and say, "Oh yeah, it's a big match," because when they first announced it, they didn't really mention anything.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's gonna be amazing.
Who do you reckon? I reckon I'm going to say Cash.
I'm gonna say, it's gotta be Dax the Axe, man. It's gotta be Dax the Axe. I don't know. I think Dax I think he's probably maybe a better singles wrestler than Cash is. I think he's a very, very underrated wrestler in general as a singles guy. I mean, his work in AEW is limited singles matches in AEW, all of them stellar. They really have. So fair play to him. I think this match will kind of serve to probably get them both over as a tag team even more.
Yeah.
Because, like, do you remember in the Cruiserweight Classic, you had Ciampa against Gargano?
Yeah.
And then that moment at the end where Ciampa hugged Gargano or something at the end, and JOA kind of got more over from that, So I think that this will kind of serve that kind of purpose with this match for both guys.
They've been trending a lot recently because there's a load of news about them.
Do we expect Bret Hart to show up? Are we expecting Bret Hart next week, or is they're going to hold off until the cup is actually in full swing? Or
I think when the cup is in full swing, I think it'll be too soon to make the match like more meaning a lot like on the night.
They should actually do a video of Bret talking about it if he doesn't come out.
Well, the big rumor, well, not a big rumor, just the people talking straight after Dynamite last night was that this match, at the end of it, whoever wins, they're going to, pretend like they're about to fight each other, like, and they're, actually like hitting each other at the end of the match, and then Bret Hart comes out, they separate them and say, look, you're friends, and
that's a good thing.
Join them up, like, sort of that, and then they support whoever gets into the cup, like, maybe get them all the way through or something.
I'd love I'd love one of them won it.
Just keep in mind, lads, we're talking about Bret Hart, and my signed Bret Hart pop Funko figure is just in the back creeping in, like it knows we need to talk positive stuff, that this will happen.
He's definitely going to show up at AEW at some stage.
The other news about him, do you reckon they'll go back to WWE because there's a big thing about that now?
They're having too much fun. They're having the time of their lives, man. They're not going to go near the place.
No way. They've got 2 title belts. The Ring of Honor Triple H champions. They're not going anywhere.
Get the Impact belts next.
I mean, are they going to continue with their rivalry with the Usos? I mean, like that, because everyone wants to see that now. So no, not WWE.
Well, they won't be shaving their backs with Manscaped, that's for sure. Well, we can go through the rest of it, but I want to get into it before we talk too much about Dynamite. But the Forbidden Door pay-per-view was announced by Adam Cole and Jay White. Eventually, they come out. So many fantasy matches that we could think of in this. Mick, you're a big New Japan fan. Who would you like to see?
First of all, this is the thing I've been waiting for so long, and now it's coming to fruition. Since AEW has started, like you just think to yourself, "Geez, I'd love to see Pac against a New Japan guy." Against anyone, pick a guy for Pac to wrestle. And then when more guys arrive, oh geez, I can't wait for Malachi Black to wrestle someone from New Japan. I can't wait for Bryan Danielson to wrestle someone from New Japan. CM Punk. It's just like as the stars and stars got bigger coming into the AEW, like my excitement and anticipation grew for the actual event. And now that it's here, there's just too many choices, so it's kind of hard for me. It was kind of hard for me to think of them, but like I think one would be CM Punk against Will Osprey, because CM Punk has said it multiple times that he wants to go against Osprey. He said it multiple times, and same with Osprey.
It's CM Punk's pound, so he'll be able to basically pick his opponent, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't think CM Punk's picking his opponent? Come on, he definitely is.
Yeah.
I think the other big massive one that they can do is Okada and Danielson. It's probably the biggest match they can do.
Mm.
Need to revisit a classic, Jericho and Omega.
Jericho,
Yeah.
Omega, FTR versus
You
FTR
think
versus
Omega
Gorilla
will be fit for
Destiny.
it?
I know. I say he'll be back, alright.
Yeah, maybe. Fucking Miro. This is a perfect show for Miro to come back, I think.
Miro and Ishii is the great one.
Ishii,
Yeah, I was thinking
Then
that or Miro and
or Samoa Joe and Ishii would be fucking something else.
yeah. Or Suzuki and Miro would be good.
Yeah.
Hook versus Shota Umino would be a cool one. Shooter for fans of John Moxley, like.
I put out a poll earlier on Twitter today just to ask people what they're looking forward to, and Bullet Club versus the Elite was the top choice. 44% of people wanted that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Bullet Club aren't what they were before.
Not really, but if you get the Good Brothers, Jay White and all involved.
Yeah, I don't know, man. When they got rid of Guerrillas of Destiny, man, that really just turned me off the whole thing. Like, because they're original members.
I'm
I don't know.
I'm just gonna say this out right now, but just wait when Prince Devlin comes back and joins the Bullet Club. There, I just said it.
I reckon the Black Bull Combat Club are going to fight Zach. What's his name? His head. My head's gone.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that group.
Were they all part of Osprey's United Empire? Though?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to fight. They're going to fight them. Moxley's fighting Tanahashi in the next month.
Has to be.
Next month.
He called them out. Did you watch the Moxley and Osprey match?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unreal. But he called them out after that match, so surely that's definitely happening there.
Yeah. There's just so much. There's so much stuff there.
Yeah.
Something like though.
I do think that CM Punk and Will Osprey is definitely going to be happening, at least. But my thoughts is like, I know that they keep saying about it's going to be Kenny Omega taking on the Rainmaker Okada. I'm on board with just Bryan Danielson taking on the Rainmaker Okada. It'd be great to see Kenny Omega come back again, but like you said, the possibilities are endless, lads. So I'm buzzing for the Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Is there any female talent in New Japan that you'd like to see, like maybe against Britt Baker or Ruby Soho or something like that? Is anybody out there?
They're not really heavy on.
They're not really showcased as much because they don't put women on Wrestle Kingdom.
I think they own. Did they own Stardom?
I think
they're part of Stardom. Are part of them, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think was it last year, or the year before that? It was the first time a women's match was on. It was on Wrestle Kingdom. It was a Stardom exhibition match.
Yeah.
They're definitely going to bring him in for this one, though.
Yeah,
they need to have the female talent as well.
Yeah,
they need to highlight them, all right. It can't be just a man's show. Like they're going to have to put on some women's matches as well. Speaking of the women's matches, Britt Baker obviously got the hometown pop. She playing up as she does in Pittsburgh. What did you think of her promo after the match?
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really weird. It wasn't as bad as the one that was a few weeks back.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too. I love the way she was like, finally you have a woman with a mic in her hands that knows how to use it, and then fucking bombed at the promo. Like,
I saw the promo and I always just thought maybe she just got overwhelmed with the hometown like support. So I think that's why she was like going blanking.
She's a little bit out of breath after the match. Like she hasn't had a match in a couple of, I don't know how long ago was the match.
The last one was the cage match.
Yeah. Been a few weeks since she had that.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't really matter because she was over as fuck anyway. She could have said
she's always going to be over Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, as they call it.
Yeah, she could talk shite for 20 minutes and they would have loved it,
Well, her focus seems to be on the tournament now. Like she said, she's going to win it. So she's not focusing on
her anyway.
Going after Jade Cargill eventually. Probably good. All out or all in, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I mean, Britt Baker is definitely like probably the best female wrestler they have at the moment, so they need to use her well, like with all this build up behind her.
Oh yeah.
the way they're building Jade Cargill, I'm loving the way they're building her, like to keep the undefeated streak going for another
The
way.
only thing I don't like about that is I just don't think that the girl she's fighting Friday night is as big as they want us to
Marina
think.
Shafir.
Yeah.
She's
not very good.
Well, she never really got a chance in NXT. Like she was always Shayna Baszler's lackey, like herself and Jessamine Duke. They were never really given a chance, except for Raw Underground, if you want to count that as a fucking match. Like,
like who realistically, who beats Jade? Like, you know, if there's no one there to beat her, why take it off her? She could have a 3-year reign. It wouldn't bother.
Let her keep it.
Bother me in the slightest.
I think Jade beats Britt, to be perfectly honest, because like it's not if like I'd say it might be for the TBS title,
yeah,
you know, and it would be a huge endorsement for Jade if she beat Britt Baker, you know, and they really, 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 really need another women's star, and that's how you build one.
Yeah,
you know, that's how you
definitely do. But if maybe they'll push her all the way and have her a double champion, maybe keep the title and go after Thunder Rosa, whoever the champion is.
Oh, that'd be ideal.
Have a Hogan versus Warrior style match, or where it's the two best women in the show. Like.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That's like obviously you want to go into the coffin match, like it was just a.
The only thing I really liked about it with Sting in the crowd was fun. I wasn't expecting that.
Sting, obviously Sting's obviously going to overshadow anybody. It's Sting, like but I think it's obviously they're going to go down the route of the Hardys against Sting and Darby the way that they ended it, like. But I would love them to end this partnership with Sting and Darby, because Darby's not really getting over.
No, I think a heel turn is needed.
Darby, I don't know.
I mean, the highlight for the match for me has to be when Sting just dived off. That was like the highlight. So I was like, oh yeah, Darby's also the main competitor. So I think we're not going to see them like breaking up, like they're going to turn against each other. I think Sting is just going to let Darby be. As I taught you enough, good luck with you. That's exactly what he's going to say.
Man.
Darby will be there.
Yeah, Darby's definitely in need of something, like, because like he just for ages had ever since he lost the TNT title, really you could argue that he's just had meaningless feud after meaningless feud, really.
Well, he's been 50-50 with our Andrade for fucking ages now. Like they've beaten each other.
And it's a trait of AEW's that they just drag out storylines longer than they need to be, and that's happened to Darby a couple of times, I think. He's been the victim of that. But I think he needs to get away from Sting, because Sting's just he's so much more over than Darby is. He's that separation, and you can still do so much with Sting. Like I was thinking it today. I was like, Joe, what would he do? What would Sting do afterwards? And I was like thinking, that has to be Danhausen. He has to team with Danhausen. Can you imagine Danhausen and Stinghausen? That'd be amazing.
Tell me I'm not the only one with Danhausen made his debut.
Imagine the promos, man. Imagine the fucking backstage promos. That'd be amazing.
Speaking of Danhausen, I forgot to mention fucking Hook.
Yeah.
Oh, my main man.
Yeah.
Danhausen called out Hook.
Oh man, that was awful. A lot of people aren't into the Danhausen Hook thing, like, but I think it's amazing.
I think it's brilliant.
I just love that image of like just Danhausen like just like cursing Hook, and Hook looks like that he just had none of it at all.
I love was it when he got in the ring? He said, if you don't want to get cursed by Danhausen, you have to fight Danhausen.
Yeah.
I love the for such a young guy, man, his awareness of where the camera is.
Yeah.
Really good.
He
gives this look, and you're just supposed to see his eyes underneath the fucking hair. And it's just great shot, man. It's brilliant for a guy that's so young. He's really, really, really fucking good. Like,
not like Cody Rhodes.
He's just the fucking best, man. He's just the fucking best.
Did you see that really bad camera work with Cody Rhodes on Raw? His back was to the shot, like, for the whole thing.
to the hard camera.
It's all gone to shit for Cody
The hard
Rhodes.
camera's on the other side in AEW. He's so used to facing the other way.
Vince
probably.
still has a grudge against him, so he just slowly wants to like push his insanity meter. Like,
All right. Well, we can move on from AEW there for a minute. We've got Impact Rebellion coming up this weekend. I was on with Josh and Moose yesterday evening talking about it. It's a pretty good match card, but anybody planning on watching this match, especially Moose and Josh Matthew?
I'll get to watch that some point, right? For sure, I'll definitely get to watch over the weekend.
That's the match. That's the match to watch as well.
There is some good matches on the card though, but that's going to be a banger.
What's the story with Gresham? Is he still injured?
No, he's scheduled. They have his match. The match is scheduled for the pay-per-view. You know, they haven't said anything about it being cancelled, so I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a knock.
There's good matches. There's Bronson Reed against
Jonah
against Ishii.
Yeah, that should be good. But even the X Division matches in the pre-show, it's not on the main card at all.
Oh, really?
I was surprised with that. And the women's tag team matches on the pre-show as well.
Yeah, that is shocking.
That was pretty shocking. I thought the X Division match for sure, like, because Mike Bailey's, I think he's going to win that match. I think Mike Bailey, the X Division champion, is written in stone. He's had a great start to his time in Impact.
Yeah. Impact is the hidden gem in the wrestling world. It's like
I wish I watched it as much as I should. Like, the pay-per-views are always quality, and every time I ever sit down to watch any of their TV show matches, like,
it looks like as well that Top Dollar might be joining Impact in the near future.
I mean, every time I watch an Impact episode, I keep saying to myself, "Why am I not watching this more? This is actually legit." Like,
the only thing going against them is the production value of the arena looks crap. It looks cheap.
It's the studio, like, it's soundstage.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
But they announced as well, Slammiversary, will be coming up. They're going back to Nashville. They should.
They really should go back to the old arena with, like, I know it's similar to AEW, but still, they should.
The original Impact Zone, is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good man. There was a good fucking atmosphere in that place, man.
Yeah.
There really was in the early days. There was really good atmosphere.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come for them.
I think it's 20 years, like, as well.
Yeah.
Actually, just speaking of 20 years, because I know we're nearly out of time. Randy Orton is 20 years in WWE.
And he celebrated yesterday with a big blunt. Did you see those T-shirts? Like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. What a good.
They're sold out already.
Yeah, they're gone. They put out more. I think today they were selling out yesterday, and they put out more today. He said, because he put up a tweet then today saying there's more going on sale. It's it's $4.20 twice a day every day anyway. So it's like fucking.
Randy Orton is definitely into RK Bro. I mean, he is sponsoring on Twitter, so like he doesn't do anything on social media.
I'd say Randy Orton definitely is smoking a heavy amount of cannabis.
Oh, absolutely. Matt
Riddle
definitely celebrating.
I'd say once he got to know fucking Matt Riddle, man, I'd say he was like, he said, "Vince, let me ride with this guy right now."
Did they come out yesterday saying there's no more fines or something for this?
No more, no. They haven't been fined in years. They were saying it was never reported. Like, but per RVD is somewhere out there now in the multiverse, going back in time, trying to fucking sort out his shit. Like, after all that time, it won't be long until they start releasing people out of prison, like in America now, for all those crimes that are they're no longer legal. Like, so looking at it, like, I don't think Vince smokes, so maybe he sprinkled some of his yogurts when he's taking his morning fucking pills.
I don't know why, but I have an image of Vince just smoking away, and he's just saying, "Oh, this is good shit."
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Vince watched Friday for the first time yesterday with Matt Riddle and Orton.
And Austin Theory's just in the background somewhere. Like, I'm hanging out with Vince outside.
Just a quick thing there in RVD. Is that true? Vince thought he was already in Hall of Fame.
What?
Really?
I saw that yesterday, yeah.
Oh my god!
I saw that yesterday.
What is he fucking smoking?
Exactly.
Brilliant. Guys, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Lads, check out the channel. We've had a couple of interviews up in the last couple of days. We have our vlog, massively done by Phil, edited down to perfection from the Phoenix show. So check that out. Jerry was speaking with the Progress Atlas champion, Luke Jacobs, today. So that should be out in the next couple of days as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, all that stuff. And we'll be back on Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. GMT for our roundup from the weekend's big shows. We'll stay tuned and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.